internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, all the big guys are coming, and it's going to happen this year. The World Economic Forum is publishing these kind of PDFs titled Asset Tokenization in Financial Markets, the Next Generation of Value Transfer, which we covered briefly in yesterday's episode. Well, in today's video, you're going to see just how big this is, just how many participants are involved in this, and why the value of XRP going to $100 is going to happen 100% because you can't stop it. They go on to talk about new market roles. Take a look at this part right here. New market structures. New market structures are expected to play critical roles across the asset life cycle steps. Token issuers could provide asset issuance services on-chain, including developing and deploying token contracts. Once the tokenized asset is available, a digital asset exchange could offer compatible trading services, driving liquidity and market depth. The amount of new things we're about to witness, and they're telling you, saying, you remember I told you how when we covered PDFs back in the day, and they're like, could be, this could be, this could be. They just word it differently. And Ripple and XRP is setting up to honestly have all the money. And we've said that long time ago. And Brad Garlinghouse on a panel yesterday, take a listen to what he says here when he was asked about just meme coins in general, along with Monica Long. But ladies and gentlemen, memes are here to stay, and wait until you hear what we have coming for Salute. You're going to go absolutely insane because it's just tremendous that we could all do this together and compete on a bank level. Let's just say that. But listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says here.
I've never purchased a meme coin.
Okay.
Ever.
Maybe today's the day.
And Monica, do you have...
If I did buy one, I'd buy the all the money XRP meme coin.
There you go.
Wow.
Well, now you have to.
Now I have to.
Okay, so you have a homework assignment. Sorry. Oh, the meme.
Yes.
Memes. So I think the "this is fine" meme
By the way,
resonates.
I feel like 25 people in the audience just went online. They're buying all the money.
Oh, no.
Don't do it. Let me get in first. Just kidding.
What is happening?
And remember that we're going to see so many different avenues of utility drive into XRP. And one being Ripple's announcement today saying tokenized treasuries go live on the XRP ledger. Ondo Finance's OUSG unlocks institutional access with seamless mint and redemptions via Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. And you're probably wondering, whoa, okay, they're talking about RLUSD. What about XRP? Well, guess what? XRP's role is so big, they don't even put it in here, okay? Wait until everything gets deployed. And let's continue back to the World Economic Forum for a second, okay? They go on to mention Ripple here. Several firms have already taken steps to tokenize private equity investments. Recently, Aram Equity Partners launched the world's first combined private equity and debt tokenized fund valued at $1 billion on the XRP ledger, an open source and decentralized layer 1. And a PDF that was released by Citibank back last year talking about Ready Layer 1 for a moment. A general purpose state machine for the financial sector. And this was written by Tony McLaughlin. Tony McLaughlin, you're going to hear in a moment, talk about connecting 20,000 banks. And then we're going to break down how XRP's role and what it does when the systems actually go full scale. Remember, we have seen nothing in these markets yet. Nothing. And if these prices excite you, if Axelar going up 100% within 4 hours excites you, Let me tell you, when I say the wealth syndrome, you're going to see stuff that you have never witnessed before. I've been through many cycles since early days of 2017, and I could tell you right now, the next wave of adoption, the next wave of capital that's going to flow into this ecosystem is going to catch everybody by surprise. But the importance of today's video is about how much liquidity, how much capital is going to pour into these markets, okay? And most people don't really know what even happened in this article. This isn't speculation. This isn't hype. This is real utility hitting the XRP ledger, and it's going to cause a massive demand shock that people are completely underestimating. So if you hold any XRP, congratulations, because remember, you're early to the infrastructure play of the century. It is so insane. So these tokenized treasuries, real regulated financial products, not concepts, not pilot programs, live on the XRP ledger. Yes. And look at this part right here. For the first time, qualified purchasers can seamlessly subscribe and redeem OUSG on the XRP ledger around the clock. It just started. This means that institutional capital now has 24/7 access to tokenized US treasuries directly on the XRP ledger. So what does this mean for XRP? Everything. Because when you have real world treasuries moving on chain, you need deep, reliable, liquid rails to move that value. And that's XRP's job. And you're probably wondering, why doesn't the public know about this? Well, why would they go in depth explaining how the system operates on their press releases? That's my job, okay? And here's the part where everybody overlooks, right? Institutions aren't buying these assets to flip them for next week. They're pretty much going to buy them and they're going to vault them. They're using them as collateral. They're embedding them into the global financial workflows that settle across time zones. And this is all about the change. This is about turning XRP into the universal liquidity engine behind the biggest asset class in the world, which is the US Treasuries. And they're projecting for trillions by 2030. Trillions. Let that sink in, right? Trillions. And again, I cannot stress this video enough.
I'm going to struggle to convey just how much capital there is behind this regulatory dam.
Because there is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars on the sideline that's just waiting for some clarity.
The entire crypto ecosystem is like 2.5 trillion.
We're talking about a major transformation potentially of capital markets infrastructure that affects all types of entities across the value chain.
Right? Bank deposits, stocks, and bonds. $400 trillion.
That's not going to come easily or quickly, right?
Think about the opportunity, how we get to beyond the 1 trillion. I would start with private asset space is a $290 trillion market around the world.
I'm not going to say all of this money is going into crypto, but quite a lot of it will end up in crypto.
It's pretty easy to understand that we are clearly in this fourth turning. We are in a time of epic change. We are in a time of turmoil and chaos.
Because the world will be radically different in 5 years. And then with the new technologies, we're going to go, it's like going through a time warp. We're going to be in a different world.
You know, within that digital infrastructure, these are all spaces that are undergoing a massive transformation. I would say a profound transformation that today, when we look back in 10 years, we will look at 2024 and probably 2023 as really critical foundation years for a massive investment journey in these spaces that investment institutions and countries, in this case, that took the right decisions in these two, in my opinion, critical years, 23, 24. 10 years from now, we'll look back I think, and we'll be very satisfied.
And Ripple's not watching this happen. Remember that. They're engineering it. RLUSD is the glue. XRP is the bridge, and the XRPL is the settlement layer built from the ground up for this very moment that we have all been waiting for. Ripple literally partnered with Ondo, brought OUSG to XRP, and created an enterprise-grade pipeline for tokenized assets to flow through in compliance and at scale. Like, do you understand how big this is? This is huge. This is a massive upgrade. Now, let's go deeper for a moment. Okay? This launch is just the first domino. Institutions like BlackRock, remember, Franklin Templeton, they're all here and watching. And once firms are watching, they see the pipes being built and they're preparing to mirror the exact setup with XRP at the core. And this is massive demand is coming for XRP from institutions who won't just buy it, they'll hold it, vault it, and lock it in. And that's how a supply shock happens. Remember, this isn't 2018 XRP all-time highs, where it was just let off by speculation. And that part should worry you. You know, the fact that XRP was at like 380 2018 and nothing was even built, you could only imagine what is going to happen now, right? So when billions start flowing through the system, XRP's price won't pump because of hype. It's going to rise because the economic system demands it to. And that's the best part about holding XRP, because we're not, you know, we understand where the value is coming from, and that's from real economic play. So remember the people that say $10 is a dream, it's not, okay? It's going to completely change everything. Mark my words. This is the moment we look back on and say, that was the shift. That was when XRP left retail behind and became institutional grade infrastructure. Do not underestimate what Ripple's building here. Don't underestimate RLUSD, and do not underestimate what just happened with Ondo and this system going live. And again, never underestimate XRP, because you guys that are kicking themselves. Again, remember, the only people that will talk negative about XRP are the ones that actually missed the boat. And going back into the 20,000 banks, okay, Tony McLaughlin, take a listen to this video. We aired this when it first came about, and knowing what we know now, knowing how all the dominoes are falling in place, this is music to my ears, and I'm sure it will be to yours as well. So at the time of this recording, XRP was around 50 cents. I have just picked out the most valuable information from that video because it is private and it has less than 9,000 views. Okay, 9,000 views, and this was not a lot of people saw this. I believe I had maybe 35,000, 40,000 subscribers at the time. So 60,000 of you guys didn't see this. So take a listen to this and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below and how high you think this bad boy could go. The price of XRP is currently at 49 cents, and I love it. I hope it comes even lower so the weak hands, the peasants, the imbeciles could just leave, sell, and get out of this sector. If you know what you hold, then this should be an amazing opportunity to dollar cost average. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember this video from yesterday? Tony McLaughlin talking about utilizing a shared ledger. How do we connect 20,000 banks together? I'm going to show you a presentation after his little segment here.
Let's say that there are over 20,000 banks on the planet. Every one of those banks has their own data center. They have their own ledger within those data centers. And what we have in traditional financial messaging infrastructures is messaging between those databases. And messaging between those databases and market infrastructures that do one kind of thing. So the tokenization thesis is basically, comes down to this: wouldn't it be great if we started to transact on shared ledgers which were Turing complete, programmable, and what efficiencies and innovation could be unlocked from that kind of setup, a contrast between the existing fragmented structure of our databases, which is currently represented by 20,000 plus separate islands.
And if you understand the way XRP works, here's a little quick breakdown. In place of having to hold local currencies in multiple Nostro accounts, Ripple offers banks an option to hold XRP, Ripple's native digital asset, as a single bridge currency. With the XRP option, Ripple claims banks can save a further 8.8% by eliminating redundant liquidity and account maintenance costs associated with Nostro accounts. And look at this little breakdown, okay? Here we have the market cap of XRP at $5 trillion. We have 40 banks utilizing XRP. The price of XRP is at $48.51, and 99 billion XRP is circulating. So we're being very, very conservative here, okay? If we were to split up the XRP to these 40 banks, each bank would get about 2.5 billion XRP. Wow. Wow, folks, that is absolutely nothing. And keep in mind, whatever that we are holding is also accounted for in this calculation. Do you see how scarce this asset is? When will people wake up? And if we go down to 96 banks, okay, same layout, $5 trillion market cap, 99 billion circulating, each bank would hold on to about 1 billion XRP valued at $48 billion. But it gets even better. Let's go to 150 banks. That's only 660 million XRP per bank that they're going to be holding on to. And let's go over to 300 banks. 330 million XRP that they're going to be holding on to. Do you guys see this? We have Citibank talking about 20,000 banks and payment service providers. And in this calculation, in this breakdown of 300 banks, 99 billion XRP circulating, which accounts for what we're holding as well, which means 330 million XRP would be utilized by these institutions. That is absolutely nothing.
So first you get the banks connected. They do what they're doing today better. Then they go, I want to do this in 100 countries, but I can't hold currencies in 100 countries. Well, guess what? You got XRP. So that's the holy grail. That's the ultimate end goal that we're aiming for.
But I think more broadly, there's a little bit more regulatory certainty to come. It's much better even now versus even just the past few years. And with that comes sort of big name institutional adoption that I think will be encouraging for others that might have been on the fence. Earliest days, because
and to make this even more bullish, Jason Sario Solless from Ripple. He is the leader of payments, tokenization, stablecoins, DeFi, CBDC, cross-border, okay? And listen to what he had to say here. Days after Ryan Rugg came out with her City token comment.
Clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token, multi-border liquidity for added efficiencies.
At a time when the bank is doing layoffs and massive restructuring, it is impressive, at least, to see them embracing modern technology to enable them to stay competitive. It is just a matter of time, folks. Tokenization is the future. Have a great day. And this is coming from a leader at Ripple. They know what's coming down the pipelines. They know that they're just trying to suppress this crypto sector. The governments are trying to get retail out of it. You can't make another XRP. You can't make another Bitcoin. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. They all know. They all know.
For a city itself or for a bank in general to implement public blockchains?
It's going to really depend on regulation, in my opinion, because right now it's only permissible for us to be on a permission chain. So if regulation changes and regulators get comfortable with public, we will definitely go down that route. But right now, from a regulatory standpoint, we're sticking with permission.
A little bit more regulatory certainty to come.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend. Ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold, and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute, where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute, to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. Salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.